welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport, and today we are going to do another movie review. If you haven't seen my last review of the Grand Prix movie from the late 60s, you should go and watch it. It's actually one of my better videos, I think. But today we are looking at something a bit different. We are looking at Sylvester Stallone's 2001 Driven, based around the kart series in America. And I've got to tell you, this is a huge step down. I paid 50p for this movie and I was ripped off, trust me. This movie sucks. But sit back, relax, and let's take a look at Sylvester Stallone's Driven. But first, a little background. Sylvester Stallone started appearing on Formula 1 grids, notably Monza in 1997, touting the idea of doing a movie based around Formula 1. Now, this wasn't the late 60s. Formula 1 teams were not going to halt practice sessions so you can make your little movie. And Ferrari were not going to open their factory doors to you so you could just walk around and film whatever you wanted. So it never really happened. Apparently, Sylvester Stallone has written scripts for a Formula 1 movie, but they never saw the light of day. Now, instead, he joined up with director Rennie Harlin, who he had previously worked on Cliffhanger. So you already know we're off to a rocky start. But Rennie Harlin himself had wanted to make an Ayrton Senna autobiographical film that also never got off the ground. So after 4 years of pitching a motor racing movie around different studios, they finally got the funding to make a kart series movie in 2001. They really shouldn't have bothered. In fact, Sylvester Stallone has said that he regrets making this movie. Now, the premise of this movie is very simple. You have experienced hand Bo Brandenburg, who is going for yet another world title, being challenged by young up-and-coming rookie Jimmy Bly, who has raw talent but is struggling to cope under the pressure. Now, Sylvester Stallone isn't the star of this movie. He is a mentor figure for Jimmy. And there's reasons for this. Sylvester Stallone was now in his 50s and had also kind of had a hard time at the box office in recent years. He wasn't the big box office draw he used to be. So it makes sense to hide behind a younger cast. The problem is Jimmy Bly is played by Kip Pardue, who has all the charisma of a wet lump of cabbage and can't carry this movie on his own. You'll also notice that the editing in this movie is absolutely headache-inducingly annoying. It's constantly moving and cutting, and I know in this scene it's supposed to show that Jimmy Bly is struggling to cope under the pressure and the spotlight, but it makes the movie incredibly difficult to watch, so if that's what they're going for, they achieved it.
You promised sound bites for tonight's sport! Jimmy, only talk to this woman. This reporter only.
Bo, you've had problems before and you've never acted like this.
Things change. Why can't you just respect what I need?
You're having a bad season and you're throwing me out of your life?
This is my life!
This is not your life! This is what you do for a living.
Look. If I'm going to win, I need my mind out there, not here. So right now, this is my life.
This is your life. What am I?
You know, this scene might carry more weight if, I don't know, I actually knew who these people were. This is literally 5 minutes into the movie. We haven't really met these people yet, and I'm supposed to be sorry they're breaking up. I don't care about her. I don't know who she is. I don't know why he's acting like this. This scene is stupid, and it feels like it should happen in the middle of the movie, not right at the start.
Can he keep it off the wall? He slides down to the inside.
Why?
So Jimmy Bly crashes out of the next race because he starts having a mental breakdown, and this is when team owner Carl Henry, played by Burt Reynolds, may he and his glorious moustache rest in peace, he decides to give one of his former race drivers a call up to see if he can help Jimmy concentrate.
You think you can push it to the ragged edge?
Yeah, I think so.
And the fear?
It's gone.
Fear is never gone.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. What about Memo?
I'm making a change. Memo's out, you're in. You're driving for me again, Joseph. Welcome back to the big show.
We also get this scene with the simulator where it looks like Jimmy goes to the right and spins, where if you actually watch the scene, he clearly goes to the left. So, idiots. And then we get an expedition dump from Burt Reynolds, who I'm guessing is meant to be kind of like Frank Williams. But he basically tells Sylvester Stallone the plot of the movie.
You miss me.
Next subject.
I got a rookie driver. His name is Jimmy Bly. He's won 5 races. He's starting to find ways to stumble. I'm not going to lose that kind of lead. It's not going to happen.
Well, you know, Memo's a great driver. What happened?
Memo forgot his damn job. His job is to support the team. His job is to support Jimmy Bly, so he's gone. I could have hired 100 young Turks to take his place, but I wanted somebody who's been to the top of the mountain and stumbled all the way to the bottom.
Thanks for the reminder.
I wanted somebody that gets his attention, maybe gains his trust.
Why trust?
Because you're gonna help him, my old friend.
Carl. Look, I gotta get something straight. I thought you brought me back here to race.
No.
What did you give him?
Gas money.
There are 100 guys more qualified to back Jimmy. Why him?
Because when he's on, he's one of the best you'll ever see. You just sit back and watch.
What's he doing?
He's just wound up. Doing his coin bid will relax him.
What's his coin bid?
He's gonna hold a controlled slide going full out, and then he's gonna drift over and pick up 3 coins. Not with the front tire, mind you. Any fool can do that. But he'll slide over, snatch him up with the back one, and not lose a millisecond of speed.
What? So he's going to drift, but not lose a millisecond of speed. Unless he's doing lap times of around about 10 minutes, I find that very, very hard to believe.
There's no way you can do that. You don't want to bet that. There's number 1.
So yeah, this coin trick thing is dumb, but apparently it's based on an old legend about one Manuel Fangio who used to do this, but as far as I can tell, it's just an urban myth. But the CGI in this scene is really terrible, and it doesn't really make any sense anyway. Why does he need to prove himself if Carl Henry really, really wants him back anyway? This scene just seems to be a waste of time, and it's never ever brought up again.
What's that sound?
Sounds like humming.
Yep. Why is he humming? Just some crazy thing he does when he's pushing close to the edge.
That sounds like it could be annoying and dangerous.
Not among the living.
Yeah, Joe, could you tell us how the car feels? It looks like your rear tyre is deflating. Joe, are you humming? It's not good feedback. What's going on with the car?
2 out of 3, huh?
Listen, Jimmy, why don't you and me go grab a cup of coffee and maybe talk some strategy?
The strategy's simple. He drives, you block. You block, he wins. Look, we gotta hit it. We got a big-time publicity blitz. Yeah, you probably push that back, can't we, Jimmy? Come on, buddy. It's part of the gig. It's part of the contract.
See you later.
If you got anything, just channel through me, okay? I channel well.
Appreciate that.
Car coming down.
So Jimmy bumps into Sophie at the club and they seem to hit it off, but when you remember that she is Brandenburg's ex and they only split up like 2 weeks ago max, and it's sort of brought up later that he's only getting with her to try and get an advantage over him, it really makes out that none of the people in this film are actually likeable. And we see this even more closely examined in the next scene.
Or do you still hate answering loaded questions?
This is Joe Tanto's ex-wife, who seems to take offence at her ex-husband taking her new husband's race seat, despite the new husband, Memo Moreno, not really being too fussed about it and still being friends with Joe Tanto. But she's kind of a bitch throughout the film, and even though we keep going back to Joe Tanto's deep, disturbing past, we're never actually shown any of it, and it only gets brought up every 5 minutes or so, so it's easily ignored. But once again, none of these characters are in any way likeable. Except maybe Moreno, but only because he's clearly in love with Joe Tanto.
But hey, you're my friend, so if it'll make you happy, I'll divorce her.
Mama, what are you doing?
Right now, right here, today, I'm divorced. But only if you marry me. Yeah, please.
Why?
You know, I get so lonely.
Yeah, but you look like you're lonely.
Well, shit, that escalated quickly. Although I'm not going to mock, because this is actually one of the best character moments in the whole movie. There is one weird thing though. Memo Moreno. Now, Roberto Moreno was racing in the kart series at the time. He was racing for Patrick Racing in 2000 and 2001. Having some of the best years of his kart career, honestly. But why does this movie have a real life counterpart for Memo Moreno and Roberto Moreno, but none of the other characters like Bly, Brandenburg and Tanto don't have real life counterparts with the same surname? Only Memo Moreno and Roberto Moreno. It's too weird to be coincidental. I can only imagine Roberto Moreno upset them somehow. Maybe he refused to lend them a car or something, or, you know, have sex with his wife. Whatever it is, it's just strange. The next thing you'll notice is the racing scenes aren't actually very good. The editing is too fast and too frenetic to actually be able to watch what's going on. There's no sense of who's challenging who or who's overtaking who. And every crash, like this one, I mean, the explosion actually goes off before he hits the barrier, but even so, every crash apparently is big enough to kill the driver, several spectators and everyone around them. There's no way he would actually survive this. But this is every crash in the whole movie. It's always a mega flipping, dynamite exploding, crazy crash. It's just not very realistic, but the problem is it's a racing movie. And the racing scenes, apart from the stock footage, is basically unwatchable. And even the stock footage is edited so harshly that it's not actually fun to watch. It's a big failure, is my point. Why would I want to watch a racing movie when the racing in said movie is terrible?
Turn 3, and it's...
So Jimmy Bly takes the lead from Brandenburg, but he also struggles to hold him off, and so Carl Henry brings Joe Tanto into the pits.
Hit the mark.
I know what you're doing, Carl. It's wrong.
Joe comes out, blocks Brandenburg, helps Bly win the race. It's still pretty close. I mean, Bly actually only wins by the length of his front wing. Joe doesn't like this. There's a couple of boring scenes telling you why. We move on and head to Japan. And Nike symbol, and now it's gone. Yeah, this scene is entirely necessary, but it does give us this absolute gem.
I was raised by frogs.
Raised by frogs.
Ribbit. Ribbit. Ribbit.
Jimmy, keep it steady.
we get another race scene where once again Jimmy Bly starts to feel the pressure and unfortunately no longer knows how to drive. He overdrives the car and pitches it straight into the wall, ending his race with a massive crash, which again would probably kill him, but of course he's okay. This leaves Brandenburg in the championship lead and Carl Henry doubting whether Jimmy Bly is the real deal.
They pull him out from under the car, and he gives the crowd away. Jimmy Bly, after that awesome accident, is all right, and the crowd responds to it.
To share a glimpse of the future.
We move on to Chicago and the launch of a new prototype with a big party where everyone is wined and dined. And this is where things get a little complicated.
So you better buckle up. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
So Sophie breaks up with Jimmy Bly and gets back with Brandenburg, but Jimmy doesn't take it too well, and him and Brandenburg get into a little bit of a fight. I think it's kind of just some mild shoving, but it does add to the no one here is really likable kind of thing they've been going for, and Jimmy doesn't take it very well.
Get the hell away from me. Get lost.
So Jimmy Bly takes off in a prototype down the streets of Chicago with Joe Tanto in hot pursuit. I'm guessing this scene is the whole reason they wanted to make this movie, and it's an awesome idea. Race cars racing down real streets with real people. But it does raise a few issues. Like, they actually nearly very get close to killing people. And they are damaging public property. They get caught speeding at 195 kilometers per hour and basically disrobe this woman. But there's no real consequence for their actions. But at least at the end of it, they can have a little heart-to-heart.
What is it?
It's the first thing I ever won, and when I won it was probably the last time I ever felt pure victory. No pressure, nobody breathing down my back, just driving because I loved it pure. And that's what you got to get back to, doing what you do naturally just for you. I mean, I don't have your gift, but I do have a couple of things that you don't have. I got will and I got faith. Wait, don't laugh. I'm serious. Because I believe you can will yourself in anything, do anything.
So, how are they punished for their Grand Theft Auto?
Jimmy Bly is in second. We just learned that Racing Commissioner Leighton Gilson has slapped Bly and teammate Joe Tanto with a $25,000 fine for the recent joyride through downtown Chicago.
A $25,000 fine! They nearly killed people. They would be banned from racing, banned from driving, and probably in jail. Jimmy Bly wouldn't be worrying about Brandenburg in his mirrors. He'd be worrying about cellmate Bubba running up behind him. It gets stupider as well because Carl Henry decides to remove Joe Tanto from the car because he's not up to the job and replaces him with Memo. I'm sure this will turn out great.
Make a move. Hold on. Memo Moreno trying to make the same move on Jimmy Bly, his teammate.
Memo, no passing. Do you hear me?
But I'm right there, Carl. Memo, lift off. Keep it steady. What the hell are you doing?
Moreno appears to have something to prove here. He gets alongside Bly again.
Damn it, Memo, we've been over this. Lift off. Lift off. You worked for me. I said lift off.
Why the hell did you let him drive? Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Shut up.
This is why motorsport teams don't let family members on the pit wall, especially giving them a radio. But, spurred on by his wife, Moreno tries to overtake Jimmy Bly, gets it wrong, hurtles off the track, is hilariously punted into the outfield by another car, and lands in a lake upside down. Jimmy Bly heroically pulls over and runs to the aid of his teammate, followed by Brandenburg. But what's really hilarious here, apart from the fuel leaking and the fire in the tree, clearly a Hollywood setup, is that Joe Tanto gets there before the recovery crew. Apparently the rescue teams were just sitting on their arse eating donuts while a driver is trapped underwater and possibly on fire. They managed to get him out, but the car explodes, except in this shot where it's clearly okay. But the 3 drivers survive, but Memo can't move his legs. And Jimmy Bly has a crushed foot. Surely this will pull him out of the championship and give Brandenburg the title.
Jimmy! Jimmy, you alright? Yeah, it's just my foot. You're gonna be fine, okay? You're gonna come through this just fine. How's Memo? Memo's fine. They're looking after him.
I want you to be the first to know I'm terminating the kid's contract.
Why?
I don't think he's the real deal. I don't think he's mentally tough enough. I don't think he's adult enough. Getting out of a car in the middle of a race.
Save the man's life.
I'm not here to debate with you. Gonna go for Brandenburg next year.
What are you doing, Carl?
Whatever it takes to win.
His brother know?
Brother is brokering the deal.
Well, don't do this.
It's done.
Then undo it.
Oh, you suddenly care.
Don't kill him off!
Don't kill him off! I watched you kill yourself! And you had everything! And you threw it all away! And I had to sit there and watch!
Are you high? You have a rookie driver challenging for the World Championship in his first season, and you're going to throw him away because he got out of his car and saved another driver. His teammate, I should add. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He would literally be the hottest property in motor racing right now. Everyone would want him. Why would you throw him away because you don't like the way he acted once at a racetrack? I mean, you've been doubting him all season because he's thrown away a couple of wins, but he's a rookie. He's still young. He hasn't reached his peak yet. He's going to get better with age. This is honestly like McLaren throwing away Lewis Hamilton because he didn't win the 2007 World Championship. Sorry, you finished second in your rookie year. That's unbelievable, but we're going to go with someone else. Thanks for your time. No one can be this stupid.
Why are you doing this to me, DeMille? Wait a minute. Who sold out who first? Well, I would never sell you out. I would never sell out my own brother.
When you started listening to everybody and stopped listening to me, that's exactly what you
did. No, DeMille, I was just trying something different. But the first time
So yeah, it turns out his brother's a jerk who's selling him out for Brandenburg. This gets paid off in the very next scene when Sophie turns out was brokering the deal for Brandenburg and was actually just using him and throws away the contract before punching him in the face. This is stupid.
Look, what do you want to do? Hit me? Would that make you feel better? Ooh, honey.
A little.
Didn't hurt. Call that a punch?
Look, any driver that can't get out of the car in 5 seconds isn't allowed to run.
Son, you trying to prove you're better than I think you are?
Yeah.
So Carl Henry makes Jimmy Bly do some bullshit tests to prove he's actually able to drive the car. I'm pretty sure the race organisers will do this, not the team owner. But whatever, we'll go with it. Carl Henry seems desperate to get rid of Jimmy Bly. I can sympathise with him a little bit because he is really annoying. But I don't see another driver on standby, so I think you better go with him.
Go.
Four seconds.
Great.
So Jimmy hops, and by this point I'm hopping mad as well, but apparently that makes him suitable to drive with a broken foot. We get another huge crash at the start. More CG actually tries to kill the crowd this time. I actually sympathise, I'd quite like to die as well. We get another massive over-the-top crash. This one incredibly stupid because the bad CG is on a new level. If you look in this scene, you'll see that it's a speedway with no trees, and in this one, more trees and gravel. Jimmy Bly and Joe Tanto work their way up from the back of the field together as a tag team, passing cars either side, chasing each other, slipstreaming, drafting. We get lots of dramatic shots of gear changes and head-on displays and accelerating, and you know, it's just all that really exciting stuff you know and love from this Hollywood classic. We get another huge accident with cars flying in absolutely every direction. Everyone in this scene is killed. Apparently it's normal in kart racing to have 20 deaths a year. This guy plows into the water and sticks up nose first. Jimmy Bly somehow manages to make it through the crash unscathed, whilst Joe Tanto also manages to make it through unscathed. So with only 3 cars left in the whole field because everyone else has crashed, Joe Tanto starts humming again.
What's he doing?
Jesus.
He's back.
And somehow takes the lead through the power of CGI. Unfortunately, his car is damaged, and it's up to Jimmy Bly to take up the humming.
He's humming.
And work his way to victory by just a nose's, like literally, it's like an inch.
Here it comes, right down to the finish. Bly takes it.
Unbelievable.
I know, this movie sucks. So the movie ends, everybody's happy, these two get back together I guess, and we end with the 3 of our heroes standing on the podium in celebration. This film bombed at the box office, and the kart series would be dead within a few years, probably thanks to this film. Well, a lot of reasons, but this film probably didn't help. So, in conclusion, this film is awful. The CGI effects are terrible, the racing isn't particularly fun to watch, the characters are dull, uninteresting and practically dickish. There is no reason to watch this film. It is a complete waste of 2 hours. I hated every minute of it. I would never ever watch this movie again, no matter how much money I was offered to do so. Do yourself a favour. Don't watch Driven the movie. There are so many better movies out there to watch. This is a complete waste of time. And I like Sylvester Stallone. I'll practically watch anything he's in just because it's Sylvester Stallone. But he has made some clunkers, and this is probably one of the biggest. It kind of reminds me of that one IndyCar game I used to play back in the day. It was awful. I think it was on PS2. I can't remember what it's called. Driven? They made a game of this shit? No. You know what? I'll review it at some point, but not now. I'm tired of this bullshit. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe. And I'll be back with more motorsport content soon. Have a good one.